Hi guys, welcome to Classic Guitar Rock. I'm Jeremy, and I want to do a quick review on a nice little mixer that I just picked up. And just a little background here. I for my job, I am the Leadership Development Programs Manager, which is I'm a trainer basically. So I do a lot of training, a lot of virtual training, and I also on the side do voiceover work. And you've seen some of my videos, the last, where I'm sitting in the booth with the acoustic panels and stuff. Well, that's my voiceover booth. And I have a nice, I have a EV-RE27. That's a broadcast quality mic. And so I use that for my voiceover work. Well, I was constantly having to go back and forth using my voiceover room for work stuff. And I just didn't want to do that. So I wanted to have a dedicated setup for my work stuff. I do a podcast for my company and am doing training videos and voiceovers all the time for that. So that meant I needed another little video. What I really like about my mixer in the voiceover booth is it's a Behringer Xenyx mixer. And what that means is it's got the Xenyx preamps, what they call a British style preamps, and it also has a compressor on on the 4 XLR channels. It's really nice, and so I really like that sound. But I didn't want to get. I mean, it's like a 16 channel mixer. I don't need anything that big. Hence the Behringer Xenyx Q502 USB. Now, what's really cool about this is it's got a USB interface. A USB interface by itself will cost you about, a cheap one will cost you about $40. So this thing was about $80. It's got the USB interface, which I needed, but it's got the same compressor and the Xenyx mic preamp, phantom power. So it's got everything basically that my big one does, except for digital effects, which I didn't really need digital effects, right? But sound-wise, it sounds great. It's got the Xenyx preamp. It's got the compressor, and it sounds really good. And for $80, I can't recommend it highly enough. I'm running through it right now, and let me show you a picture of it. Hang on here just a sec. Ignore the messy background here. But this is it. It's plugged in right now. I've got just my XLR mic going into it. You can see that it's got phantom power. The mic I'm using is a Samson CO1, which is a great little mic too. I just picked it up. But one of the great things about this is, and for whatever reason, to me, it just seems like a no-brainer, but so many of the USB mixers that I've looked at will not allow you to play the USB signal back through the mixer. I mean, it lets you record with it and you can listen to it, but I like my big one. There's no way I can get my USB sound. It'll come through the mixer so I can hear it through the headphones, but I can't actually have it go through the main mixer that other people hear, right? And so let me give you a scenario. I use like Zoom a lot. And so on my big mixer, I was never able to play something through my mixer and have other people on the call hear it, which was really weird. They could hear me and my mic was just going through the mixer, but I could not play from a USB source, like from my laptop, through the mixer that they could hear, which I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's too many buttons on that one. But it doesn't matter, because in this little mixer, that's not an issue. I punch this button that says to main mix, right? And then whatever's coming back via USB goes through the main mix. And so people on the other end can hear it. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but it's a huge deal for me, because I do a lot of virtual classes where I am sharing a video clip right? And or sharing various audio sources. And so having it all come through my mixer is very helpful, because my laptop now, just because it's USB interface, my laptop now just sees my mixer as my microphone. But anything I put into the mixer goes right in, and people can hear it. And that was, for whatever reason, tough for me to do before. But it's a great little mixer. I'm going to just tweak with it a little bit. I've got the low and high EQs, and I'll show you here on the box here. You've got one channel with XLR, so that's what your mic goes into, and then you've got these channel 2 and 3 stereo and 4 and 5 stereo. So you can either plug in a mono source to those, or you can do stereo on each of those channels. Very basic. There's no EQ on those channels, no compressor. Okay. But what I do, what you guys will see me do, is I've got my mic through the XLR channel, and then I can plug in my little Yamaha THR5 desktop amp, either stereo or just mono, into one of these other channels, and it goes straight in, and it sounds pretty good. But you have EQ on the mic channel, and so I'm just going to tweak that. And man, these EQ buttons are very active, so you tweak them just a little bit and they make a big difference. So right now I've got my bass at about 2 o'clock and my high at about 3 o'clock, and I'm just going to tweak with these. I'm going to turn my bass all the way down. So now my bass is all the way down. My treble's all the way down. Sounds like crap, right? Turn my treble back up. Turn my bass up to about 12 o'clock. I can crank my bass all the way up, and it gets pretty bassy, right? So there's the bass. Let me put the treble back where it was. I'm a little close to my mic, so I'm popping a little bit here. I took the windscreen off because it just sounds so much better without the windscreen, and the way I use it, I'm usually far enough away that I don't need that. And then here's the compressor. I've got the compressor fairly high. It's at about 1 o'clock right now, but I can turn it all the way off. And so it's, more of a flat signal. I can crank it all the way up, right? And if you want to sound like a big boomy radio guy, this is what you do. You crank it up. So there's the compressor, and I'm not going to go into how compressors work. I think most of us probably get that, but so that's it. I mean, you got plenty of line-in connections, your main out. You could hook this to a PA, to a power amp or powered monitors for an acoustic, solo type job. But for the money, for $80, and it's tiny. You saw how tiny it is, but it is heavy. I mean, it is sturdy and very, very well built. So I'm very impressed. And it's got a great sound, a great little versatile mixer. If you're doing any type of voiceover stuff or recording, I highly recommend it. And like I said, I think $79. I got it from Musician's Friend, but that seems to be the price, whether you're at Musician's Friend, Sweetwater, Amazon, whatever. For twice the price of just a cheap USB interface, to get a USB interface and a nice little mixer, all for $79, I thought it was a no-brainer. So so far, I really like it, and just wanted to share that with you. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Thanks. Bye-bye.